Hey guys, today we're going to talk about topic number 8. That's our presentation to all the learners. You see, as I mentioned in my early topics, you have to aware that for every learners who walk into our center, we have to understand the few elements that are very important elements that every consultant needed to know. That is the financial status of the learners. If the learner, of course, is a student, you have to know whether it's sponsored by the parents or the guardians and are they affordable. And of course, we are able to know about this, but of course, not too direct. And from there, we also needed to know whether they have the authority and the needs. Authority is very important because otherwise there'll be a short delay because when you presented a learner and there's a consideration period and you have to wait. So of course we try to help them on the spot. We try to help them as fast as possible, and because we have ongoing appointments coming in, and that's the reason why is that we have to give a very brief explanation, a good presentation, giving them all the information they require, and in this way it's much easier for a customer to make up the right decisions, provided you must remember that we have the program. And then we comes to the need. You see, some people, like especially the adults, they learn English just for interest, which I do not encourage any of the adult learner to learn English in due to their interest, because I always help most of in fact, all the learners. I always help them where they have the need. Whether you are students who are going overseas, who are going to participate the IELTS test, or either you are taking Cambridge examinations, adults learning English because of working, because they are in the hospitality industry, they wanted to improve their English to help them in their career and their job, and that's the reason why. So I classify I will before you would confirm whether you're going to present to this learner. We have to note that of course they must be financially sound. Otherwise, don't get them in trouble when they are not financially sound, and then at the end of the day they feel burdened because of learning English. So we have to know that the three main elements, that is financial, the need, and the authority. So now, if we have come up with this, but how are we going to know whether they have the need, the authority, and they are financially sound? So that is the reason why we have to pre-talk with our learner. And what do you mean by pre-talking to our learner means we are making friends with them. We make them feel relieved, because a lot of people who want to learn English, they are poor in the proficiency in the language. They tend to feel a little bit shy. They tend to a little bit turning away from you. They might not be honest with you because they are hiding something away, so that otherwise for probably pride, dignity, or whatsoever. So we need to do a pre-talk. We need to conduct a pre-talking sections that will last you, for example, 5 to 10 minutes. So normally when a learner walk in, I would try to make them feel very relaxed, relieved, even no tension, no stress, whether they are students or an adult, by serving them some drinks, and then I would just sit down and chat with them like, what is their job? Let's talk about students first. So we will ask them, normally the students will come along with the parents, and then we will talk to the students like, for example, I've mentioned how old are they, what do they really need, are they taking English for the academic usage, or are they taking English for some international examinations like IELTS? And then you get to know them much better. And before we conduct an assessment test for them, what I mean is for students, for assessment test for them to determine to know their proficiency in the language. And then probably I will let the students do a little reading to see how well he or she can pronounce, and the expression of the language and the fluency of the language. and then I will chat with them like, do they have a past in the past? Do they have tuition? Whether they have attend any English language program courses, and if they do, what is the how do they judge, how do they rate their previous program, and what do they learn, and what do they achieved from the program. And besides, I will also provide the mother or the parents some information about education. For example, if a student is a SPM student and is participating in the SPM at the end of the year, I will explain to the parents that the Ministry of Education, the new revised SPM English papers, and I will let them know that the importance of English for the children, for further studies, whether into the college, whether it's private college or government polytechnics, or whether they are proceeding for the STPM matriculations, and the importance of English when they are going for the further studies. So when the mother assured the mother that we can help them, and how are we going to help them, and when it come to the program for students, normally for most of the students, whether they are attending the UEC, which belongs to the private Chinese education, or either they are public schools, or whether they are in the STPM, or whether they are in the uni. Normally, what we do is that, as I will explain to them, that we will build them a very good foundation in the English. When I mention foundation, is simply I'm trying to tell them that they will learn about the to strengthen the grammaticals, the tenses, increment of the word bank means vocabulary, and to help them in the four skills. That is where you have to learn to speak, listen, read, and write. And of course, that in these four modules, that in these four skills, we also have to teach them the system of how you actually do some simple information transfer. If you know what is it, that means like by watching and looking at something, and how you're able to use your own words to express the language, and the skill of expressing your language, your mood, and your how do you able to describe things much better, more vividly. That is what I'm going to assure the students and the parents together. And how do we know whether they are financially? Of course, if a parents will tell you that, of course they are in a very stable job, averagely a good salary, I think they are affordable. So, in fact, most of our programs are affordable. So you will see our table, our fees table, and we will give it to you. And so you from there you're able to see that most of the courses are available, and it's very competitive in the market. And of course, for every student, they have a need to learn English. And of course, most of the when the parents bring the children here, normally if his children is above 12, the parents will turn the head to the child, and asking the child whether can they to let them make the decision, instead of parents to make decision for the child. So normally they will ask the child, and if the child thinks that is good, and the boy or girl thinks that is good, and then the parents will nod the head, and we can do a registration. And of course, you take note that we will tell the parents that after completion of the program, they will get a certificate, okay, a certificate from us, which will help them whether it's their future studies, or whether it's just for their to raise up their confidence in English, okay. And this is what we do, presentations for the younger generation, I mean for the students or academic students. And let's come to the adult program. For adult English course, when an adult walk in, most of the adults will let you know that they wanted to learn conversation. And for London House of English, we are renowned in conversation or communicative English. So most of these people, definitely they are working staff, except a minority, they are housewife who wanted to learn English to help their children to able to increase some colors in their lifestyle. So as you can see, for an adult walking, of course, we have to ask the same questions through the pre-talk, like what is their job, how long do they work, and why do we need to ask how long do they work in the society? Because normally we need to know how much, if they are, for example, if an adult is working in the society for more than 20 years, and out of a blue that they wanted to learn English, And of course, you have to ask them why, because probably they are promotion, probably they have a different task, probably they have a jump, there's a career jump. So we never know, a career switch, we never know. So we need to ask them why do they need to learn English. And from there, we also same, we have to ask them past experience in learning English. And but most of these people, they don't speak very well. They have the fluency in the language, they have grammatical problem, and we come across many of them which couldn't even construct a sentence very clearly, and they do have grammatical mistakes and the application of words. So most of these people, they do come, we do come across a lot of adults who want to learn English, whether it's as in social usage or whether it's for business usage. And take note that when we talk to adults, of course, the same as students, we have to give very due respect to them. And normally we will ask this adult, what do they actually want to learn? For example, if they would like to learn communication English, we do conduct English programs for communication, and we need to know for their proficiency in the language. But how do we gauge? Normally, for students, as what I've mentioned, we offer them an assessment test. For adult, you can offer an assessment test, which we have an in-house assessment test. You can collect from our administration department. But for adult, for example, after working many years, like in this industry, I do not, because they want to learn speaking communicative English or English for speaking skill. So normally what I would do is that I'll let them do some reading, doing some self intro, and to look into how do their language levels before I determine which program is suitable for them. And as you can see, when we present to the students, present to the adults, we always remember we have to present to people's need, and you have to present to their needs, which we have the program. You have to know. If we do not have the program, they have the need. Do not present to them. We have to be honest to the learner. Otherwise, we're going to waste their time. So take note. For example, if students came in and said, I'm going to America and I'm taking TOEFL. TOEFL belongs to American English. So we do not conduct TOEFL programs. So we have to be honest to the students. Otherwise, otherwise we're going to waste all his time or her time. So you have to take note. You have to be honest as a consultant. And of course, we do come across if students are like taking MOET, or when students are taking the PTE, that most of the programs we do have the teacher. So even for adults, we have a lot of different programs. But for general English, we do have a group system, group format. So that means for general English, whether it's elementary, lower elementary, supporting level, or either they're intermediate, we do have classes in small groups for them. But if adult would like to learn some specific English, like for example, business English, business communication in business, or either financial English, import export English, English for medical, or either you're talking about English for workplace, English for hospitality English. So we do conduct this, but in a private one-to-one class, or we call the private class for them. So we do that. And even there's any inquiries from corporate sectors, we conduct also all big range of English programs for them. We even can design to their needs. For example, if hoteliers will come to us and say that they wanted to train their staff, groom their staff in English, so we will ask them vividly, we will offer them assessment tests. We will also need to know which sectors, which departments are all the staffs, because we go into their needs so they do not waste a single cent. So we do, and our curriculum department will do the design of the programs for them. And to make sure they agree with the program, we sign the contract, and that is how we work with the corporate sectors. Many years back, we have worked with many, or even now, we do work with quite a number of multinational company, the agents for government sectors, even like Zhonghua, we have Zhonghua English school, Chinese private schools. So quite a number of schools we do help, quite a number of private sectors and companies, MNC, SMEs, we do help them. So if they need that for you as a new consultant, you can always come to me, and I will teach you. I will give you a discussion how you're going to help these people with the guidance from with the advice and guidance from our curriculum department. How do they design the program? How do they able to how many topics is this program? What is the main frame of the program? The objective of the program? And how we're going to help these students, how we're going to help these corporate sectors even. So take note that when you present to a learner, whether they are adult or whether they're students, please do take note that when you completed your presentation, okay, you have to ensure whether they are making the decision at the same day, at the same moment, or whether they require some days to consider. Please be nice to your learner. Okay, please be nice to them. We are not doing a selling. We are not selling something. We are going to help them for their future. So we have to take note. One thing is that don't bear any unhappiness in your heart because they need to consider, please, because this is education. This is for their future. So they have the right to consider. And when they come back, always ask the learners, is there any other questions they would like to ask, they would like to know, or any other information that we need to provide them? Once a learner put the signature on the application and registration form, what we're going to do is that we will submit to the administration. Administration will submit to the academic departments, to whereby all the teachers involved have to know who the student is, and to prepare them, to welcome them to join the class. So of course that is not your job is not done yet. You have to take note as a consultant, when they started the class, the class commence, always call them, put a message to them, ask them how is their program, how do they find the program, and even the compliment, tell them, giving them some encouraging words to them, and on and off, always give them some concern. And especially when they complete the program, you can always ask them whether do they want to continue, which we have quite a number of students, they continue their levels, the further levels. So always remember, give your students or learner assurance to make sure that their confidence increased. And after this is a good deed, make sure that you have done a good job from the presentation up to the registration and after the registration. Okay, anyway, guys, if you do have any other other questions or inquiries you'd like to make, you can always feel free to put in my WhatsApp, and I will answer to you within 24 or 48 hours. Okay, so have a good time. Take care. Thank you.